asked to do this. It's a pleasure to be here. As Felicia said, I've known her for over 15 years, which seems completely impossible. But I'm really very flattered that you decided to have me here. I'll just give you a quick rundown of kind of who and what I am. I've been working with Macs and IT for a really long time. I started with another IT company. I helped run that for about 9 years and grow it before I hung out my own shingle, went out on my own in 2005. I'm very fortunate to have just a fantastic crew that works with me, having different specialties, which really is a great compliment and allows us to able to handle a lot more things, as well as great clients. Not just Felicia, who is a great client, but lots of them. And being in a support company like we are, and having so many clients actually benefits our clients, because we get to see things that happen before anybody, whether it's bugs and updates or conflicts. We are in the cutting edge kind of a thing. Not that we like to put our clients in the cutting edge, but because we see so many different platforms and environments, it helps us really identify stuff right up front and can help you guys with some heartache by adopting things that maybe shouldn't have been so quickly. So we do get some questions all the time. As we work, people see us flying around the screen, and while we work, and they're like constantly saying, you know, God, you're so fast at this. How do you do that so fast? I wish I could do that. But the thing to kind of remember is that we all have our specialties, and while we do fly around the screen on what we do, you guys do what you do, and we really can't do that. So it's kind of picking your poison, and your stuff is probably more exciting than ours, but ours helps you get your stuff done. So today we'll share a little bit, as Felicia suggested and recommended, a little bit of what we do that might help you do what you guys do more efficiently. So one of the things that they wanted me to focus on that I actually really like is keyboard shortcuts. I know a whole bunch of them, and while we all want to do kind of the coolest and most interesting and unique stuff all the time, the bottom line is no matter what field we're in, from this to probably surgeons, you end up doing 80% of your time is like 25% of the same thing over and over. And with that, it means that if we can make the things that we do so often, little things, more efficient, you really can save a great deal of time. For me, I don't like my hands leaving the keyboard to go to the mouse to do things, because it's such a waste of time. And if I'm doing those things 250 times a day, really adds up. So if I don't have to have my hands leave the keyboard, I really like it. So you guys probably all know copy and paste and all that, Command B and Command C. I don't know whether you're using those keyboard shortcuts, maybe you're using the mouse and going up to the file and edit pull down menus, but you guys know those, right? You guys use them from time to time? Okay, that's good. I want like all of my work to be done that way. So some really easy ones, simple ones. You guys know that Command O within an application will prompt you to open a new file, or an existing file, I should say, not a new file. You guys know about that? And maybe you want to open up a Word document or something and try some of these if you haven't. And some of these are going to be really basic and some of them won't be. I don't know what the level is here, so we'll get something for everybody. So if you're inside Word or Excel or Illustrator or whatever, if you do Command O, it will prompt you to open up a new document. Simple. Command N from any application will open up a new document. Command N will start a new document, or even a new Finder window or a new folder from the Finder application. And the Finder is an application. I mean, you can't really quit it on the Mac, but everything that you associate with the Mac, the trash can, the pull down menus, the desktop, the icons, those are all part of the Finder. And these shortcuts will work in the Finder as well. If I'm not being clear at any point, just do me a favor, raise your hand, because I don't want to, we can ask questions later, but I don't want to gloss over anything that you guys might find important. All right, so Command N is new. Command Q, one of the differences between Macs and PCs, which is actually a good difference, almost all of them are, is if you close out of all of the open documents in a program on a PC, it actually quits the application. So if you have 3 Word documents open on a PC and you close them, Word is actually now quit. That's not the case for the Mac. And PC users kind of think that's a detriment. It's actually an asset because I may want to close all my open documents and open a new one without having to launch Word again or Excel. So Command Q will quit the application. Command W will close the open document that is in the forefront. All right, makes sense? Okay, so here's an interesting one. This is kind of one of the lesser known ones that I actually really like. If you guys can each open up like 3 windows, either in Word or Safari, I don't care. Just give me 3 windows in the same application. Raise your hand when you're done with it so I know. Because I think, are you guys, yeah, you guys are all muted. I could just do that with my kids in my house, that'd be great. So you guys all have it? 3 windows open in a document? In a program rather? Great. Now, if you go to that, make that program the furthest most open document to yourself. In other words, the application that's open, the application we're talking about is in the forefront of your screen. Command tilde. Now, when I say these things, hit and hold the command key with like your thumb. And then if you hit the tilde key, which is the squiggly line just below escape, it will actually cycle you through all of the open documents just within that application. Make sense? Do you guys see that working? So if you have 3, 4 Word documents open, you're cutting and pasting, whatever, why have your hand go up to the window pull-down menu to choose the document? Command tilde just cycles you right through it. We all see that? We're all good? Nope. Gina, it's not working for you? Okay, so what application do you have open now?
I have Word. Maybe I don't have enough open.
And not in tabs. It's got to be actually in separate documents. Maybe that's the issue.
So do they have to be different applications?
No, no, no. We'll get to that one, actually. It's different. It's several documents open in the same application. Then bring that application to the forefront, hit and hold the command key with your thumb, and like with your index finger, hit the tilde key and let go of your index finger. Keep the command key held down. And you will cycle through all those open documents, one at a time. You got it? Yep, good. Yep, Rita's got it. Cynthia does too, but she's got the magic of the planets behind her, so everything will work for her. Gina, you good?
No. So the command, hold the command down and hit the tilde?
The tilde, right below the escape key.
No, it's not working for me.
All right, so you may have a keyboard shortcut already pre-mapped to that, but I kind of doubt it, but maybe we can hang out afterwards, you and I, and we'll get it working for you. I think everyone else has got it going, right? I'm seeing nods from everybody. Okay, great.
Okay. I can always share screens, Seth, if it makes sense.
Say again?
I said, if as we go, I could share screens and show.
Yeah, perfect. Or we can do it after, whatever is best for you.
Okay. Yep.
All right. So the command tilde one is a good one that people mostly don't know. It's not my favorite one. My favorite one is actually command tab. So again, if you hit and hold the command key with your thumb and just cycle with the tab key, you'll get these nice, big, fat, juicy icons in the middle of your screen of every single open application. And what that does for you is a bunch of things. It allows you to move back and forth from applications without having to take your mouse and move down to the dock and click on the other application and so on. Gina, that's working for you? All right. So, and it's also, because it's a Mac, it's also really smart. So you could have 10 applications open. And if, let's say you've got Word and Excel and 8 other applications open. If you're on Word and you want to go to Excel and Excel is 4 away, If you hit the tab, Command and Tab and move to that, you'll move to Excel. And then when you let go, you'll be on Excel. You would think then, if you wanted to go back to Word, you'd have to hit the Command key and the Tab 6 times to get back to Word. But the Mac knows that chances are you're gonna wanna work between the same 2 applications mostly. So it will put Word right next to it. And if you go back, it'll put Excel right next to that. Pretty cool. It's also completely mouse driven. So if you wanted to, you could hold down Command, you could hit the Command key and Tab, bring up those icons, and then use your mouse to scroll over the application you want to go to, and you can select it that way. You can also do Command Shift Tab to move backwards in that tab arrangement. I actually really like that. And I use that single shortcut is the thing I use absolutely the most during the day, and I probably save 20 minutes a day doing it. That's all working for you guys? Good, all right. Okay, let's see where we are. Okay, now the most important command is gonna be Command Z, which is the undo. Anytime you make a mistake and you realize you don't want that, Command Z can save your butt. I'm sure you guys all know about that. However, Cynthia didn't know about that. Okay, yeah, so if you're typing in Word or whatever you're in, and you make a change that you didn't mean, or you highlighted the wrong section and deleted it, Command Z will put it right back the way it was, as long as you haven't done anything else since. So it will do the last thing, it will undo the last thing that you did. The other thing it will kind of do is if you are in the Finder, and I use Command Delete a lot in the Finder, so if I've got something on my desktop or anywhere else in the Finder that I want to throw away, if I just highlight it rather than drag it to the trash, I can Command and hit the Delete key upper right of your keyboard, and it will put it in the trash. Interestingly, the Command Z will also work in that area. So if I'm like, oh wait, that's not the file I want to throw away, Command Z will put it right back on my desktop. All right. All right. This one's kind of a cool one. You won't use it as much, but like no one knows about this one either. If you have like 3 documents open, if you hold down the Command key, you can then with your mouse move the background document. So let's say you've got this document up that you're viewing, and there's another document off to the left, and you wish to slide it so you can see something on it, rather than having to click on that document, move it over, hope it's in the right spot. If you hold down the Command key and drag it or move it around, it will move the background document without making it the foreground document. Cool, yes, no? Seeing lots of puzzle faces, no, okay. Rita's throwing her hands up, she's done, she's throwing the towel. Do you have a few documents open, Rita? So there'll be a document in the forefront. You need to be able to see a little bit of a document in the background. And if you just hold down the Command key and then use your mouse or your trackpad, you can click on the document in the background. It will stay in the background. Yeah, okay, good. All right, we're all good. Cynthia, you're on board? Mensa meds.
Wait, can you just finish that, what you were about to say?
So if you have,
but it becomes visible?
So what happens is, let's just say you're moving stuff from one document to another, or I just need to get that phone number and I can't really see it. If I keep the document that I'm working on in the forefront, so the menu bar is highlighted and all that, but that document I need to see some bit of information is in the background, just hold the Command key down and click and drag on the background document. It will stay in the background, but you can move it. Good? All right, okay. All right, that's good. Command Tab, we went through that. Okay, you guys know that Command S will save an open document. If it's already been saved, it will not prompt you for save as or where to save it because it's already an open document. But if you're working on a document and you want to save it, Command S will save it. What will happen from that point is you'll get the dialog box that says, what do you want to name it and where do you want to save it? So Command S will bring up that save box. A nice little tip in the background is when I've got that navigation box open, which is asking me what I want to call it and where I want to save it, if you want to put it on your desktop, Command D will bring up the desktop. So listen very carefully. This is important. If you do Command D before you get to the navigate window, you may choose to disregard your changes. So you want to be careful on that. So practice this one on a document that you don't need. But if I'm in Word and I type my whatever, and then I hit Command S to save, and a dialog box pops open and says, do you want to save or where? Before it says where, don't hit Command D. But if you want to put on your desktop and it opens up with a navigation page to your documents folder or pictures, Command D will be a shortcut and bring you right to your desktop. You can save it right there. Good? All right. We know that Command P will print, right? Everybody? Okay. We didn't, okay. So yeah, Jennifer's, our reader rather, I'm sorry. You don't have to go to the file menu and choose print. You can, from inside a document, hit Command P, it'll bring up the print dialog box. However, one thing that I use all the time, so everyone's organizational skills are different, right? Theoretically, I actually have some. I print envelopes a whole bunch for things that I mail out on a regular basis. They're done in Word. And I've got a folder full of these envelopes. You don't have to actually open that document to print it. Did you guys know that? Right. It's pretty cool. Time saver. So when I want to send a check to one of my guys, who I send a check to all the time, too often as far as I'm concerned, I go to that envelope, I highlight it once, and if I do Command P on just the highlighted document in the Finder, it will print it automatically right to my default printer or whatever my setting is. So very often the default setting is use the last printer I printed to, which is fine. But if you're not in the same location, it won't work. My personal preference is I have a default printer. It's my office printer. And if I Command P on any document, it'll just go to that printer and I never even have to open it. It's a great time saver. Everybody get that? Good, all right. I'll check my cheat sheet here. Okay, we did that, good. Two things that I use all the time, but it's part of because I'm probably in IT, but this is definitely helpful. A lot of times people don't even know where the applications folder is or how to get to it. Or they've got to click through a few buttons to get to it and it's kind of a pain in the butt. Command-Shift-A from the Finder will bring up the applications folder. So if you click on your desktop and it says Finder in the upper left-hand corner and do Command-Shift-A, it'll pop up your applications window. Right? Everybody? And Command-Shift-U will bring up your utilities folder. Everybody? All right, good. And that will help a lot for stuff if you just want to open up a new application that may not be in your doc or whatever. Holding down the Command key with a document open will help you select text non-contiguously. So if you want to highlight 6 sentences in a document, but they're not together where you just highlight the whole thing, holding down the Command key will say, I can highlight this and I can highlight 4 lines down and this letter over here. It's a nice little trick, especially if you want to copy and paste that into a different email or a document or whatever. Karen, good? All right. Yes, Cynthia. Didn't work for you.
Just say it again from the top.
Sure. So
What?
let's say you have an open Word document or an email or whatever. If you want to highlight some text within that document, but it's non-contiguous, so it's not continuous format, you can hold down the Command key and highlight different text that is not connected. And then you can do whatever you want with it. Good? All right. All right, here's a really good one. Command F not, I mean, you know, you guys know Command F will find from in the Finder. You can do a search in Spotlight. But let's say you're in a web page, or you're in an email, or you're in a Word document, and you want to find a specific thing. So let's just say, I need to know how much lettuce I'm going to need for this chicken wraps recipe, which is always an important question. If I do Command F, I can type lettuce and do a search. We all know that. But did you know that while you're in that mode, if you hit Command G, it will find the next instance of that word. So let's say lettuce is in there 12 times. I want to find the one about, okay, I'm lost, how much I need. I can do Command F, type in lettuce, it'll find it. That's not the one. Command G will find the next, and the next, and the next, and the next. I love that. Actually, that really helps. All right. I think we can wrap this part up with two things. Screenshots. Everybody does screenshots. So it has changed a little bit over the years with the Mac, but here's how we do it. Command-Shift-3 will take a screenshot of the entire window, that's the entire screen that you have in front of you. Awesome, but sometimes I don't want all that information. I don't want to show all that information. It's bigger than I want. So Command-Shift-3, whole screen. Command-Shift-4 will bring up a crosshairs icon, okay? And that crosshairs icon will allow you to box around what you want to screenshot. But if you've had too much coffee or too little coffee, you're not going to get exactly what you want. So if you do Command-Shift-3 and get that crosshairs, before you do anything, hit the space bar. And that crosshairs icon will turn into a little camera icon. And if you then roll that camera icon over whatever window, foreground, background, it doesn't matter, whatever window you actually want to screenshot, and then click your mouse button or your trackpad button, it will take a picture of whatever that window is and nothing but the window, and you have to do no work for it. I think we got everybody in it. Unmute for a second, Cynthia.
Can you say that third one again about you hit commit if you want?
Yeah, no problem. It's a little confusing. Don't worry about it.
3 and 4, but not the next one.
I don't want the whole screen usually. I just want a specific window. And I don't even want to have to draw out the crosshairs in the box for the whole window because, you know, I'm kind of a spaz and I'll get it wrong. Command-Shift-4 will bring up a crosshairs icon. If you leave it like that, you can just simply draw a box around what you want, let go, and it will take it. Right. But if while you have the crosshairs icon, you hit the space bar, that crosshairs icon will turn into a camera. Then, if you move that camera icon over whatever document or window you wish to get a picture of, it will get a picture of just that window. And it'll be a perfect capture of just that window. And of course, the logo on your desktop, unless you change that setting, but by default, they go to your desktop, called screenshot with date and time. And if you just search on your desktop by date modify, it'll be right at the top. Good, everybody? All right.
Seth, I noticed, I noticed there's something new where you can do like screen recordings of.
Yeah. So actually, QuickTime has always done a really, really good job. You can do a screen recording of your whole screen. You can draw a picture around, like let's say you just wanted to capture a YouTube video. You could draw a picture, open up QuickTime, go to record screen, and go through that. It's a little bit more involved, but yes, it works very well.
I thought it seemed new, like it was a new command key or something that it gives you options for all these different things you can do for screen recording.
Yeah, they've been built into the Mac OS for like a long time.
Oh, I see.
I've always used it in QuickTime because it's just always been there. But yeah, it's awesome. I've used it for presentations and stuff like that. It's really great. There's so much that's built into the Mac that because we don't use it, we're just not so aware of it, but there's just so much there. The last keyboard shortcut I'll give you will be the force quit. So if you've got an application that is just not behaving right, this won't work if if your cursor has frozen on the screen, but if it's a Mac, that'll happen very seldom. But if something's not responding or it's just not working, Command, Option, and Escape will bring up the force quit window within any application. It will give you a list then in a window of all the applications you have open, and you can scroll through them either using your mouse or the up and down arrow keys and force quit that misbehaving app. Good? You will lose any unsaved changes, but your Mac should not become unstable. So that's that. How are we doing on time, Felicia?
Well, we're after it's 12:35. So
Okay.
it's up to everybody. We could spend, I know you wanted to talk about a little troubleshooting and a few other things. So
yeah, the keyboard shortcut stuff was definitely where I put most of my emphasis in. I wanted to go over, I think the rest of it's actually will go pretty quick. Maybe I can get another 5 minutes. Is that okay with everybody? Yeah, okay. So a few things. The Mac OS now is based on Unix. I had a much longer presentation for this part, I'm just gonna let it go. Unix is the most stable, the most modern operating system on the planet, but it was all command line, horrible, ugly. Apple migrated to it and found a way to put pretty pictures on it. But the Unix underpinnings is all there. This is actual Unix, and all those things, all those Unix commands and statements all apply. So a lot of people never shut off their Mac, but I really recommend it, especially if you can do it at least once a week. I prefer it once a day, honestly, when you go to sleep. There are cache files. We all know about cache files from the internet, but that's not the only place that they come. Your computer uses cache files all the time to help keep things that are further away along the computer closer, makes them faster, but they get corrupt, they build up. While it's not 100%, restarting your machine will flush out some of those cache files and help with a bunch of things. So restarting still is one of your best troubleshooting tips, but definitely will help your computer run faster and a little bit easier during the day, every day, if you do find a time to shut it down. That really cleaned up that whole section real fast. The other thing that, I mean, we all know that PCs suffer from viruses and malware. I would say as much as malware and viruses are kind of the bane of the PC world, fonts are probably the bane of the Mac world. And if you guys are designers and are using font applications like Suitcase or Font Explorer, try making sure that you quit out of all of your open fonts. Because if they're open and loaded from Suitcase and in the Finder, we'll talk about that in just a second. But sometimes graphic designers, load up a huge amount of fonts, keep them active. And just having that many fonts active it's a burden on the system. And if the fonts are not clean, they can cause all kinds of conflicts. So if you find you're having some crashing issues or real slowness or whatever, and you do use Suitcase or Font Explorer or something like that, just go in and close out of all of your open fonts after you close out of your graphic documents, and that may resolve some of your issues. Just the basic standard install of the Mac OS and all the applications, they try to make stuff more compatible and easier and flexible. They load just a ton of fonts in the system. We do like to get those out, but I wouldn't recommend that the novice do it because you can take out some things that you want. And there's definitely some places that you won't know where to go or how to get them out. So do the Suitcase and Font Explorer thing if you're using font apps. Otherwise, if you're having continued font issues, just let us know or whatever. We can help you with that. Cleaned up that one real fast too. Okay, there is, for repair stuff, there is also disk utility in your utilities folder, Command-Shift-U. If you call that disk utility up, you can run a light first aid on your Mac. The way that works, if you guys will just do this really quickly, Command-Shift-U, bring up your utilities folder, find disk utility, open it up. Make sure you're in the Finder first, Gina, and then hit Command-Shift-U. So the Command-Shift-U won't work in any other app but the Finder for this. Then what happens is you get a list of your drives on the left-hand side of that window. You click on the drive that you wish to repair. For most of you, there'll only be a Macintosh HD. Unless you're on Catalina, now it's split into two. Don't ask why. Then highlight the Macintosh HD or the volume that you want to repair, and be sure you only click First Aid. If you only have one icon on the left-hand side, so just your Macintosh HD, and you hit erase, the Mac's not stupid. It will not erase a booted volume, so you don't have to worry about that. But you do want to play it safe here. It'll run through a bunch of commands, not commands, but a bunch of text will build, and then the machine will be pretty much unusable for that time. When it's done, it's either going to say it was repaired, nothing seems to be okay, or it needs further attention. If it says it needed to be repaired and it repaired it successfully, you're all set. If it said it seems to be okay, you're all set. If you have other issues, try to look through the list and see if you can get a snapshot, take a screenshot of what the issue might be, and you can just send us an email. Good? All right. I'll move along really fast. Okay, so the Macs now have malware. It's not really damaging or destroying malware. It just, A, slows things down, usually to a crawl, and B, I've definitely seen it affect like Apple Mail and Outlook where you can no longer send email. So I've seen a bunch of malware come from one spot, and that's bogus flash installers. So if you go to YouTube and or any place else where you want to watch a video, these are all women here, so most of the places where you'll find these bad things you won't run across, but you can. And if you get a prompt for your Flash player is out of date, install a Flash player window in your browser that looks official, it's not. That's going to install malware on your computer. Flash is not updated that often. Java's updated a whole bunch, but Flash just isn't anymore. If you are worried that your Flash is out of date, go to www.adobe.com, scroll to the very bottom of the page. There is very fine print on the bottom for download Acrobat Reader, download Flash. Click on the download Flash, and once you get it from there, you are safe and fine. There still are no viruses on the Mac, and maybe there's a little bit of a semantics game here between malware and viruses, but I do not recommend at this point, we all have to have our own comfort level, that you need any virus software on the Mac. It just gets in the way for the most part. And if you stay away from the bogus Flash installers, you're probably 90% clean, okay? The only other thing I'm gonna mention, then I'll let you go, or we'll take on questions, or whoever Felicia wants to handle it, is hacking. Obviously, be smart. Don't click on links in an email that look bogus. Now, for the most part, they're not gonna affect you on a Mac. It's a PC thing. However, if you get any email that says, looks official, Apple, your bank, the FBI, click this link and log in. If you're not sure it's from that entity, don't do it, because you could be putting in credentials for a fake user, fake site, your actual credentials, they use that and gain information. So if you have M&T Bank and you get an email that doesn't quite look right, don't click on the link for anything there. Go to your usual browser, go to your usual site where you log in and take care of business there, or call first if there's any questions. The last thing I'll leave you with on this is the one real way that Mac users get hacked, other than what I just gave you, was by, if you have a laptop and you're traveling and you find an unsecured wireless hotspot. So if I go to a restaurant in New York City and I don't know, any place where you don't see, like a Starbucks with a locked Wi-Fi network that needs a password, you've got to prove that you're a hotel that needs your guest information. But if you find a Linksys or just any open network that seems not to be affiliated with anybody, do not join it. What happens very often there is there are hackers who are attached to those Wi-Fi networks who will packet sniff. They're basically watching all the traffic that goes in and out of each computer, and they're able, with the amount of information that goes through, to see an algorithm and suss out your password. They will get your email password. They will then get your bank password. They'll get your Apple ID. So never join secured wireless network. unless you know who it is. All right?